Hey, this is Goatboy here. Today we're going to talk about War Zone Octarius. It's got rules for Codex Cadia. It's got rules for Army Renown for the Death Watch. It's got some updated Tyranid rules, and it does collect all the Tyranid rules from Psychic Awakening and the Inquisition rules from Psychic Awakening. So it kind of collects them all into one book, since I don't think you can buy those anymore. I think the most interesting thing in this one is updated kind of synapse rules. I think the term is it's this weird shift to how they're playing. I know when I talk to some friends in the know that Tyranids are going to have a massive shift in how they work, and this is probably the example of where they go, where they're utilizing synapse to make these little bubbles of control, and it's almost like the army's a giant organism that is moving across and undulating across the battlefield and has different effects they can do around. So I find that really interesting, and probably where we're going to see something show up in anything else in Warhammer 40k for Tyranids. You're going to have to utilize your synaptic creatures to basically be controls in specific places to allow you to chain these extra rules off to pump up a unit or anything else. At the same time, they have some very interesting exploding sixes strats. There is an exploding sixes for assault that if the unit's over 12 has 2 exploding hits, so like a lightning lock for Tyranids is really powerful. So you can see like Genesters are going to come in, they're going to hit like a brick house and then do a ton of damage. And at the same time, they also have a flesh borer one too. So yeah, again, a lot more exploding sixes that are very, very powerful. We're starting to see it show up throughout all the books that they're going to have these options to either be able to throw out a lot of hits or a lot of wounds. So units are going to be extremely deadly from this book. The biggest change in the guard one is that they're really putting a lot of emphasis in the ability to give orders out between ways to increase the range on orders, to psychers being able to do an order with a psychic action. It seems very interesting that they're going heavy into that option, which again makes me think that orders are going to be their important thing whenever they get an actual book. That is going to be their jam and their peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The one servo skull that increases your range for orders, which can go up to 72 inches, which is just nuts. So again, they're putting a lot of love into that. It's going to be the hotness that they're going to use. Guard are a weird book. I mean, they're an old book. They have a lot of old, the rules are kind of like not fitting necessarily always in 9th, and some seem kind of really powerful when you compare to other ones. So maybe you'll see more Cadia. I mean, a lot of players had Cadia. I mean, my guard at home is Cadia as well, because that's what I happen to have because they're plastic. So you could see this more often. I think you could probably start seeing a lot of conscripts screens and conscript blobs showing up. There's also a lot of their stratagems don't say infantry, they just say Cadian unit. So the tanks are going to be kind of scary too. So that's kind of the neat stuff that's probably coming down the pipeline. So there's a lot of other stuff in this book. Again, if you didn't get any of the Psychic Awakening stuff and you want to play Inquisition, this book has the Inquisition rules, which means it has all the units, all the options for them, all their little tidbits. It has a Army Renown for Death Watch, which has a stratagem, a relic, and a warlord trait, and then a very specific way of building, which is just take a whole bunch of kill teams with specialisms, which means you have to pay a little more for them, so that's where the kind of tax comes in there. And then it has all the extra Tyranid rules from Psychic Awakening as well. Personally, the coolest thing about this book is a page at the end where World Eaters show up. Some crazy World Eaters monstrosity. So I'm sure that's a wink, wink. What's probably coming out at some point in time to make us wait again further for Chaos Space Marines, because that's the only thing that's important to me. It's Chaos Space Marines. Hey, thanks for watching. Check out our other videos, as you can see them up here, floating in space. And check some more Warhammer 40k information out from Bell Lost Souls. Thanks.